Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Derek Smith with your Monday podcast for 3/9/2020. Here I am, guys. Here I am. As always, a quick shout out to Country Crush, Nat Fit, Smoking Sixes Meal Prep, and Lion Straps. So I missed a podcast last week. I actually recorded it. I actually recorded the entire thing. I have the entire thing on my phone. It was normally I recorded on a Monday. On Monday was my daughter's birthday, and I was out with her all day, so I didn't end up recording it Monday. Figured I'd do it Tuesday, and Tuesday is when I found out the Arnold Classic was canceled. And as anybody that listens to my podcast knows, I've been getting ready for the Arnolds for months and months now, and that's been my only focus. I skipped 3 tournaments. It was everything. I had everything booked, flight, and all that, and it got canceled. So when I recorded the podcast on Tuesday night, I was in a really not good mood. So the podcast was shit. And like as soon as I got into recording it, I knew I was in a bad mood. I was not being helpful. It was just not something I wanted to put out there. Just wasn't in a good, mindset. And then the rest of the week I was just kind of dealing with that and dealing with the whole, Arnold's being canceled thing. And, yeah, so I just didn't want to put that out there for you guys. It was like a really subpar podcast, and I was just being a dick. I was in a bad mood, and I was answering everything super negatively, and it was just I couldn't shake it. So yeah, guys, sorry, missed a week of podcasts, but I have some ideas and some plans and ways to make it up to you guys. But yeah, so the rest of the week though, I had been taking it easy, like 2 weeks off the gym. So this week I got back in the gym, and it felt good. It felt good to hit the gym again on Thursday, Friday. I got back in the gym, and I was just kind of basically I took almost 2 weeks off from the gym, and so I was just getting my body used to the gym, I guess. So I just did more of like a bodybuilding type of workout, not super heavy weight, higher reps, just kind of going through the motions and getting used to being in the gym again. And so I've been super sore. Had a great practice on Sunday with my guys, a bunch of king of the table type of stuff. Dallas Langston came out to practice, Scott Wynn, and everybody else was there, and we put in some serious work. It was a good practice. Feel amazing. Obviously, I still feel strong. No injuries because I didn't compete. And yeah, so trying to map out my next competition. Originally, the next plan was I wanted to go to Zloty. Still interested in that, but I might be looking for something a little sooner. Thinking about going out to the Keystone State Championships out in Pennsylvania on the 10th, because my teammate Gage Jordan is actually in the 205-pound, was it Cock of the Walk match thing from Rob Vigent. It's basically, for those of you guys that haven't heard enough about it, it's basically like a bunch of guys, like, I don't know, 16, I forget how many, 16 competitors, but basically all the top 205 guys that are not signed by the WAL are competing in one triple elimination thing against each other. And I feel like my teammate Gage Jordan is amongst them, is in that group of people. And so we got him signed up, and the team and I are going to be sending him over there to the tournament. And excited to see our boy, who we've helped put in work and been working with him since he started. Excited to see him go display his skills and strength over there in Pennsylvania with some of those guys. I know he's going to ruin some people's days, that's for sure. So we're really excited about that, and I'm really excited about that, sending him out there. So also Dallas Langston, someone that used to be on our team, then he moved to Utah for years and then came back, and now he practices with us every once in a while. He's a good buddy of ours. He's also going, so him and Gage will be going out there. And the Cali boys, we'll see how they do out in Pennsylvania. But yeah, so that's what's been going on, and today's Monday, so I'm real tore up from practice yesterday, taking it easy, little rehab work, and going to shoot this podcast for you guys. Sorry, so there's a catch-up, and I'm going to start on the Reddit part here. I'm going to start about 6 days ago, because I have 2 weeks worth of stuff built up on here, but I'll just scroll back about 6 days ago, and we'll start. So posted by Odysseus, it says, looking for people to learn in Scotland. I live in Scotland around Ayrshire, and I'm 17, trying to find a club or group that I can learn to arm wrestle with. Watch a lot of YouTube from people like Devin Lair as well as Juji and Tom. Just want to learn, but haven't been able to find anywhere near to do so. Hoping someone knows something and can help me out. Thanks in advance. When it comes to international groups and stuff like that, man, the best tip I have is to be looking on Facebook for Scottish arm wrestling groups. I think there are some. I don't remember in the past I've heard of them. But definitely look around on there on Facebook for arm wrestling groups and trying to find some in Scotland. If you don't have any success, man, message me or comment back on that thread or just tag me on Reddit, and I will try to help you find a team on Facebook. I'll message some people for you, and we'll get you hooked up with some people in Scotland. So but I recommend looking on Facebook arm wrestling groups for like a Scotland arm wrestling team or something like that, Scottish arm wrestling teams, and see if you can find something. All right, moving forward, posted by Pop Lola. It's titled An Update. So I started asking around about arm wrestling in Macedonia. Turns out there are guys that gather around in a town pretty far away from my hometown where they train arm wrestling during the weekends. So I don't know if I should add an arm wrestling workout throughout my week and go to train with real people on the weekends. Will I get better by doing this? And is it enough to even be able to get into a country competition on April 25th? If you just started arm wrestling and by the end of next month you want to be ready to do competition, I personally, my outlook on competitions is that they're so valuable that you should do competitions. I'd say do competitions first. As soon as you are confident that you understand how arm breaks happen and how to not break your arm, do a competition ASAP. That's my opinion. I think that competitions, that's the best part of arm wrestling, is doing a competition. So I think people should witness that and feel that right away. I think that'll help you fall in love with the sport even more. I also think that the tournament experience is the most valuable thing you can possibly get, and it's the most fun, man. So it's what we train to do. So I am a big fan of competing all the time. Compete. Especially when you're new, you should be doing every possible tournament. Just getting all the weight classes you can under your belt. Don't go in there with any kind of sense of pride, like you're gonna, you expect to win the whole tournament. Go there, do your best. If you get some wins, awesome. If you go, 2 and out, then that sucks. But at least you learned a lot from it, right? And keep an open mind. So, but you said on this one you're going to a country competition. So I'm not wondering if you mean like a championships, something that doesn't have like an amateur bracket. I still think go do it, man. Now, do I think you're going to be ready to win it? No, but I think you should do it regardless. But you got to stick at it, man. So, and as far as the training, I remember you're relatively new, so if all you can get is table time is once a week, if that's all you can get, then yeah, after you're done rehabbing throughout the week, we'll say that you're done rehabbing by, say, I don't know what days you're arm wrestling, but say you said on the weekends, so we'll say Sunday. Assuming you train on Sunday like I do, then Monday, Tuesday, maybe you rehab, do a lot of rehab work, make sure you get back to 100%, and then start doing a training program that's based off of, I don't know your levels of fitness, because I haven't met you, but start building a foundation of strength. That's what I would focus on right now. So if there's ever a time in your arm wrestling training that I would advise doing heavy lifts like deadlifts and things like that specifically, I would say it'd be early on in your career, like right now, to build a good foundation of strength and then we'll get more and more isolated and particular as time goes on. But right now I would say focus on building a good foundation, and then also do some of the arm wrestling lifts, start getting the motions down, start learning how to incorporate all the muscles in all the lifts so you get comfortable with them. But yeah, I wouldn't focus on too much on the arm wrestling lifts and like making a ton of gains there, as much as building a solid foundation so we can work off that moving forward. So like pull-ups and things like that, right? A lot of compound movements, big heavy compound movements. That'd be my advice, but whatever. All right, so moving forward, posted by Criminal Scum. For any of you short guys out there, I'd be watching Sasho and Prokopchik for How to Hook. Sasho Andreev and Daniel Prokopchik from Moldova. Sasho's from Bulgaria. These are two amazing world-class arm wrestlers who, I know Sasho hooks. Daniel, does he hook all the time? I think he's different depending on his right and left hand. But amazing arm wrestlers. They're both pretty small dudes. Sasho, I have a picture of me and Sasho, and it's like, he's not the tallest guy, but he's strong as shit. I know he's had really good matches with Todd Hutchings and with Krasny and everybody. Like, he's a beast, and he's young still. A lot of people, myself included, would love to see him come over here, pull WAL or something like that. I'm pretty sure he uses a riser. He has to, but that guy can hook with anybody in the world. He is a multiple world champion and a phenom. Definitely one of the strongest guys in the world, especially at his weight. It's crazy. Sasha Andreev. If you guys get a chance, check him out. Watch some of his videos. The dude's insane. Moving forward after that, posted by Red Grams. It says Juji and Tom. And then it's a video of pro rock climber versus pro arm wrestler. And it's table time they were getting at like Juji's house, I believe, or Juji, the Grip Genie office, it looks like. We got James Richarides. Oh, I always pronounce your last name wrong, James. Sorry if you're listening to this. But just a bunch of matches they have at the like the warehouse, the Grip Genie warehouse, I believe it's at. Good stuff though, and especially when James, if James is ever in that, then it's going to be fantastic, and great information will be coming out of that. James also wrote the book Strong Arm Tactics, I believe is the name of it. If you guys get a chance, I don't think there's any more paperback versions, but there's definitely ebooks somewhere. You guys download that. James is a very experienced arm wrestler and grip guy, and his word is gold. Very, very smart individual. A lot of respect for James and everything he does for the sport. Check that out. So, and also watch more of Juji and Tom arm wrestling. You guys are awesome. Can't wait to see them in the bottom 8 and see how they do. Okay, next thing posted by Armory. It says, Arnold Classic bans all spectators and cancels Expo. Yeah, so, I don't want to get into this too much. I posted about it on Facebook. There's a lot of things and reasons, and people are messaging me saying a lot of things that happened with Arnold Classic. The only thing I know 100,000,000% is that like the state and Arnold himself made a video saying that they're canceling the expo for spectators, and all they were going to allow was bodybuilding and strongman. That's what Arnold said. And then so everybody backed out. Most people, if you couldn't get your flight backed out, then you kind of got screwed like me. So I couldn't get my flight back. So that ended up costing me about $500 total. And I just stayed home. I got my hotel back, and then but what am I gonna do? Just fly to Ohio and just sit there? It turns out, Devin and them started having practices and stuff, but still, I don't know. I still saved myself a bunch of money by not going. So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Arnold Classic ended. That sucks. But apparently, if you were registered like I was, my buddy Gage was, then that gets us immediate entry into the next year's Arnold's and into IFA. So that's cool. But I wasn't planning on going to IFA, and who knows about next year's Arnold's. You never know. We might not even make it next year. Coronavirus. All right, moving forward. Posted by Matt Chiricella. Says, looking for a training partner in Long Island. Pretty self-explanatory. I'm a guy from Long Island looking for a training partner for my arm wrestling career. I'm about 6'2", 230 for reference. If anybody's interested, feel free to PM me. Hopefully people commented, man, on the go to armfighter.com, and they should have all the teams and everything listed. If you can't find anything on there, like I said, message me, and I'll help you get in contact with some people on Facebook, because we would love to see you arm wrestling, man, for sure. Okay. Moving forward, posted by Some Guy 87. Says, should I be concerned about imbalanced workouts? Hi everyone. I used to do full body workouts 3 times a week. Lately I've been losing more and more motivation, and I'm falling back to 2 times a week. But I'm considering adding an arm wrestling specific workout day instead of doing nothing on the new free slot. No table time at all during the week, but colleagues like to challenge me occasionally because I suck at arm wrestling, and they feel great beating me there. It's time for payback. Anyways, found tons of possible exercises in Voice of Arm Wrestling and similar channels, but I'm wondering if I should be concerned about muscle imbalances. If I do those once per week without really hitting antagonists, it's all basically pull related. So I'm a bit scared that if that could be a bad thing to do. Anyone with year-long training who could shed some light? Are there typically antagonist exercises that are just not mentioned, or is it fine in general? So at the beginning, you'll be feeling great in a lot of your lifts, but you definitely want to train your antagonist, your opposite muscles that create balance. Finding out the hard way, like I did. I remember I was 4 or 5 years or so into arm wrestling, and at that point I really started arm wrestling heavy, at least once a week, if not twice a week. And the back of my shoulders, my rear delts basically started just like hurting all the time, and I started having just shoulder pain often. And but I had been training really hard, but it was just so much internal rotation, like, hooking and just general arm wrestling motions, that when I went to a gym, I remember I grabbed some like 10-pound dumbbells, and I started trying to hit my rear delts just like the opposite direction, and I could barely do 10-pound flies with my rear delts. It was so imbalanced, it was crazy. And quickly though, I got sore back there and started making some gains in my rear delts, and then everything stopped hurting as much. And so ever since then, that was years ago, 5-6 years ago, I've made it a point to always train opposite, all your antagonists and all your opposite muscles to create balance in the body, So if you want to get your biceps stronger, working on your triceps does not hurt at all. It actually helps the body stay balanced, and so that way your biceps can get stronger. So, always hit both. I mean, obviously there's going to be an imbalance. We'll still be stronger in the arm wrestling specific muscle groups and the arm wrestling angles, but definitely always add balance as far as health is concerned. I'm not going to be trying to put any max effort tricep presses, not trying to work tracking my progress there for triceps, but even though, you can use your triceps for pressing, I know, but I'm just saying I'm not going to be doing any rear delt world records, but I do enough to make sure that my shoulders and everything are staying healthy and able to keep moving and stuff like that. So should you be concerned about imbalanced workouts? Yeah, to a point, right? Don't go crazy though. But more importantly than anything, find a team and start arm wrestling. You said you hardly ever arm wrestle, and you think you're going to make substantial gains in the gym. You're not going to, right? The hands down, easily, the biggest gains you're going to make are when you start practicing with a team, when you start getting on the table. Because right now you don't even know how to use the muscles that you do have properly on a table and in an arm wrestling match, if you're not an arm wrestler, right? So it's not about building new muscles. It's about learning how to use the ones you do have, and then also conditioning your joints and your tendons and everything to apply pressure on a table, right? So people get so blinded with, I'm too weak. Well, are you a perfect arm wrestler yet? Do you know all the tricks and all the techniques and stuff? Because I doubt it, right? Because I'm not. And so that should be your focus, right? Becoming a better arm wrestler and learning how to apply the pressure that you do have. Because you probably have enough pressure now to beat all your friends. You just don't know how to put it all together and apply it, right? So make that your focus. Armfighter.com, find a local team with you, and then, that's what I say, right? Moving forward, posted by Rodental, it says Sylvain Perron and Bull Gilbert training. It's table time with Devin and Sylvain Perron and Bull Gilbert and those guys. It's always awesome watching Devin pull, especially with Sylvain, who's a freaking legend. Always seeing these guys grip up. Sylvain has beaten like the best of the best. I think I'm pretty sure his wins on John Brzenk and everybody. Like the list is ridiculous. He's definitely a legend in the sport and in Canadian arm wrestling, as far as I know. So yeah, if you guys get a chance, check that out. And then anybody that can make Devin start getting all stressed out is a powerful dude in my book for sure. So yeah, if you guys get a chance, check out all these videos. Anyway, all right, moving forward. Posted by Luca9129. At 55, he has the strongest hands without a gym, and it's a video about John Brzenk. It's a ArmBets TV video about John Brzenk talking about training and how he didn't use the gym. He focused on table time. A lot of people are talking about this, guys, and the John Brzenk approach and table time only compared to working in the gym. I think there's a lot of weird points about that, right? About John making these gains only on the table. I don't think it's as simple as anybody else just going to an arm wrestling team and all of a sudden you're going to be the best. I think, one, John very often had amazing teammates at all times, right? He had Todd Hutchings, he had, Captain Rebar, he had all those guys in Utah, and Bob Brown, all these amazing arm wrestlers working with him all the time. So he had a fantastic training group. I think when and all the times I heard about his training groups, they were always amazing arm wrestlers surrounded by. So he was getting top-notch table time. But not to mention is he getting top-notch table time with amazing pullers, but they're also intelligent. So it's the quality of table time as far as like, I bet you he was working on his weaknesses and having people, use two hands if they need to make sure he stays in perfect angles and stuff like that. So the table time he was getting, I'm sure, was fantastic, because by the time he was 30, he'd already been arm wrestling since he was a kid. So he knew the table time he liked, he knew the angles he wanted to hit, and he knew how to make substantial gains on a table at practice to keep putting towards his career, right? So it's not like 99% of arm wrestlers, especially in North America, where you go to a practice and you're trying to learn arm wrestling, you're slamming into shitty angles, your elbows flying everywhere, you're fouling, people are getting you shitty grips, no one's like training for real, it's just sloppy. I guarantee John's table time, and I have practice with John, is very controlled, intelligent. Like, he'll do stuff, he'll hold you and let you work, and if you want to work on yourself, that's fine. But he would, the times I practiced with him, he was there to put in work on his own angles and challenging himself and working on his own weaknesses and making substantial gains at practice. It wasn't just about crushing or anything like that. He was there doing intentional things. So there's that. So the table time he was getting was amazing, right? And then also at the same time, he's been arm wrestling since he was a kid, guys. So people talk about, like, can you make enough muscular gains? He was making enough gains at the table time to stay strong. But when you start arm wrestling when you're a kid and you break your elbow at, how old was he when he broke his elbow? Like 14 or something like that. And that heals up even tighter. There's like, your body's built for arm wrestling at this point. Your bones and your tendons and your joints and your ligaments, everything is built for this sport, right? And so, like, he had to go through none of that. He already knew all the techniques, so it was just about how to get stronger, and the table time was enough to provide to keep his muscles sharp, so he could go, perform it at his best. Like, I talked to John before about something like this, and he was telling me about how he never really had to work that hard. Like, it was almost felt like a gift because he'd been arm wrestling since he was a kid. It just came so natural to him that he never had to work too hard to beat Dennis and all those guys. Especially when he would see people, like Todd Hutchings or any of these number of people that are listening to this podcast right now, when he sees people like us, we're, killing it in the gym and dying trying to get stronger, and he's sitting in the back and he's like, dude, I don't know, I didn't have to work that hard. But it's basically because, he had been arm wrestling for so long, and he was surrounded by such a great group, and he was, such an established arm wrestler, physically and mentally, and, so I don't know. John's kind of a special case, guys. It's not just as universal as when you're 25, 30 years old and you go, okay, all I need is table time because John did that. No, it's not that simple, right? He was, in his situation, table time, and the table time he was getting was perfect for him, right? Now, there are some other examples, like Krasmir's talked about how he made almost all of his gains on the table, but same thing. I'm sure the people Kraszy's a very smart dude, and his table time was very intentional. I've seen videos of him talking about it and how people would use two hands and pull in certain angles to help making sure he was making solid gains. So it's definitely possible to make amazing things happen via practice, but you have to be in the right spot in your career and have the right group of people with the right mindset to make all that happen. So a lot of things have to click really well in order to make substantial gains with just table time, in my opinion. All right, guys, moving forward. Posted by Rodental, Larrett versus Todd. Oh, man. So this is a video, a link to the video when Devin Larrett and Michael Todd had their super match right-handed, and Devin ended up winning. I remember leading up to this, I was so hyped. I was still hardcore in my fanboy, phase of arm wrestling, and I'm still pretty big fanboy of a lot of these people. But I remember there, I was just like, oh man, I was so excited about this matchup with Michael Todd and Devin Larrett, because Michael Todd had been asking Devin for a match for a long time up there, like damn near begging him, sending out videos and stuff like this, trying to get this match with Devin so he could get to that number one spot. But Michael looked like unbeatable. He had the King's move going. And none of us had any idea, if Devin could beat him and all this stuff like that. And Devin showed up big and strong, and he executed it perfectly. That's one of the best super matches ever, in my opinion, that I ever saw. So yeah, that's definitely probably one of my favorite super matches. That shit was crazy. And also, because Devin is 6'6", and we measured our arms, and we have the exact same length in arms from tip of the elbow to tip of the finger. I've always watched Devin for movements and stuff like that, things that made sense, because I can kind of reach where he can reach, right, on the table. So a lot of my movements and stuff are loosely based off of Devin. Now, do I look like Devin, or am I as strong as him? Nope. But I'm saying that, that's where I went when I wanted to learn. And so I'd always ask him for, advice and stuff like that. And I was friends with Michael Todd as well. He helped me out with a lot of things in the past too. So watching these two guys clash was amazing. And wondering, how someone with my build could handle Michael Todd back then. It was a crazy match, man. Crazy match. All right, moving forward. Posted by NNQ2603. It says, Vlad, Giannis Mullins, Sandris Sidis, Kaspers Gravis, Riga Open 2020. So this is a tournament in Latvia. I almost said Lithuania. Latvia. with Coach Ray and all them, right, from the Voice of Arm Wrestling, and you get to see Vlad being Vlad, who's, I don't know, this dude is crazy, like insanely strong. So actually, what I think about when I watch Vlad a lot is, when I was working with Ingen would always tell me that I need to work on my applying pronation without having to use like the structure of my arm, like without having to, how to work, like internal rotation, but in a dynamic movement, right? So you see Vlad do it a lot, right? Almost like old school arm wrestling, like don't move your body, just go sideways, something like that, like having like old school side pressure, but in pronation, right? And being able to do it within your shoulders and pronate hard. So that way, because a lot of people see arm wrestling completely as a static movement, right? You hold tight, you just drop your knees, but and it mostly is, except for at the go in the hands. It is dynamic movements, right? You are going to kink your wrist, you're going to try to fly your wrist out there if you're top rolling, or bow your wrist if you're hooking. So there is dynamic movements in the hands, right? So he's telling me, I was like, isn't it all isometrics and stuff like that? And he goes, yeah, but not in the hands, not at the beginning of a match. Those are dynamic concentric movements in the hands, right? So he wanted to see in a lot more of my matches me applying pronation, stuff like that, dynamically and not just trying to hold tight. So so when I see Vlad arm wrestling, it's like, it reminds me of that, because he seems to be very strong in that, right? Being able to move inside his shoulder blades without having to even use isometrics at all. So, and then when he decides to actually start throwing his weight around using speed, it's kind of crazy. These Latvian arm wrestlers are amazing, you guys. If any of you guys are watching this stuff or listening from Latvia, or in general, you guys check them out. They're really impressive arm wrestlers, the guys coming out of there for sure. And of course, Giannis is amazing, Coach Ray and all them. So next move forward, posted by Iron or Betty. Arnold Sports Festival now allowing spectators for all sporting events. They started letting people in, and there was other sports going on. There's other sports going on. I'm not going to keep talking about that. It's just going to get me all frustrated. So, no use crying over spilt milk at this point. All right, moving forward. Posted by Paracordist, says, rockin' hand at Granite Arms, New Hampshire, right? Arm wrestling practice, table time number 3. So it's pictures and videos of table time over at Badger Drew's Granite Arms practice with a lot of guys I've hung out with and met and went to Worlds with. Dean Banyan and Badger Drew's, and I think Rob Vigent was in there, and Debbie Banyan, and Corey Dupree, and there's a lot of people in there. Fantastic practice. Honestly, if I had the money just to fly around at will, that'd be one of the first places I'd want to go, is out there and go practice with Granite Arms and hang out. And Badger always makes me laugh, so it'd be a fun time to go there and train with those guys a little bit. And Kathy Merrill, Kathy's out there too. Love her. Kudos. Paracorders, you're a lucky dude. You found a fantastic team. You really lucked out, man, that you're around them. So, soak all that up. All right, moving forward, posted by Thom John 12. The latest sponsors for RVJ's Cock of the Walk tournament. And then it's a video that Uncle John made. I don't even know how to describe this, about RVJ's bakery, where he's handing out like ass whoopings and stuff like that. It's a funny little video. You guys check that out when you get a chance and watch that. I don't really know how to describe it to you guys, so check that out. Uncle John always puts out great content as well. Very articulate when he speaks. John, shout out. All right, guys. Next, posted by Red Grams. What y'all want to see Devin versus Schoolboy? On this, actually, you know what? We'll get there. This is a video of Devin at his little practice he had at the Arnold's. Getting some side table time with Schoolboy Alexander, and obviously everybody's filming it because Devin's so popular on YouTube, and because of Alex Top Roll's videos, his brother Alexander Schoolboy is super popular as well, so obviously everybody's going to click on this to watch it, so cameras were rolling. But it's good. It's good to see them going. Devin's right arm is looking nuts right now, and I think in one of these videos he's talking about too, about how his right arm is like 30 or 40% stronger than his left arm right now, which is like most imbalanced I think he's ever been. But yeah, I mean, those angles are looking tighter and tighter in the last few months and stuff like that, especially now that they've announced the Michael Todd match with him. I'm excited to see his angles keep closing up by the time he gets to the actual event and pulls Michael Todd. So, moving forward, posted by Vasties, Eddie Hall learns to arm wrestle with Neil Pickup. Now, this is it's a YouTube link to Eddie Hall's channel, and it says how to win an arm wrestle, top 10 tips, and it's Eddie is getting ready for his match with Rob Vigent, and it's basically Neil Pickup, who's a world champion, legendary arm wrestler himself, not just an announcer, guys. He's a legendary arm wrestler himself. Him giving tips to Eddie Hall on how to arm wrestle, and they're fantastic tips. Everything Neil says is gold. Not only is it really funny, but the information is fantastic, guys. So if you get a chance, check that out. I know it's like a 30-minute video, I think, but definitely worth the watch if you guys are trying to pick up some tips. Neil knows what he's talking about. Definitely highly endorse anything he says. Yeah, dude is smart. And Eddie Hall is just sitting there, a new guy, basically, went to arm wrestling, trying to learn, put it all together. So it's definitely a solid video when it comes to information. All right. Posted by NNQ2603, sparring with Schoolboy. Oh, okay. So this is Devin's version of the video of him and Schoolboy arm wrestling. Or no, Devin's version of Schoolboy and Justin Major. Okay. So I think this video gets posted again somewhere on Reddit. But Justin Major, for those of you guys that don't know who Justin Major is, he is the super heavyweight on Devin Larratt's team, the Ottawa High Hookers. And Justin is an awesome friend of mine, super strong dude. He also does grip tournaments up there. He's like a really good grip competitor. Guy's crazy strong. Last time we pulled, me and him, a year ago at the Arnolds, we were gripping up for a while, and he is a ton of hand. The dude is a very smart arm wrestler. He's young. Fantastic dude. But so him versus Schoolboy, I was kind of interested to watch this. And Alexander is very impressive, right? His angles, his use of his tall arm, because he's 6'6", I think, as well. His use of his angles is fantastic. His hand is very strong as well, and so he utilizes that very, very intelligently. Justin was trying to use his hand a lot. I talked to Justin right after this match, Justin Major. I said, "Hey, what's up with that match with Schoolboy? Like, how do you feel? How did Alexander feel?" And he said he felt really good. He gave a lot of compliments to Schoolboy, and I keep calling him Schoolboy. It's weird, Alexander. But Justin also said that Justin's shoulder was kind of jacked up going into this, so he couldn't really dig in with his shoulder too hard, so he's trying to control with just his hand, and it's hard because Alexander is a lot of hand and a lot of height. But just Alexander's style of arm wrestling, like I watched these matches a few times now, and seeing the angles he's hitting and how he's setting up his wrist and stuff like that, and his shoulder placement and everything like that is really good. The dude's a really smart arm wrestler. Alexander is definitely going really far. I think he made 242s for the Arnolds, so he, borderline super heavyweight at local events. I'm sure at some point I'll cross paths with him. But yeah, I mean, I have a ton of respect for Justin Major. I don't know how legit this match was. I think they were both polling before this, so I don't know how legit this was. I wouldn't read into it like 100,000,000%. But any win on Justin Major is amazing, right? Dude's a beast. Definitely one of the top Canadian arm wrestlers up there as well. So, yeah, it's legit, dude. Alexander is legit. He is a legit arm wrestler for sure. No doubting that at all. All right, moving forward. Posted by Valerio Look, says how to get a fair grip at practice. I just want a fair grip, but everybody seems to have a big ego. If they can get an advantage, they will. It's not long I've been on the table, and I'm always starting at a disadvantage, which is very frustrating because the rare times we have a fair grip, I can win many of them. I'm also not the kind of guy who wants to tell them every time to set up properly. What is your passive technique to get a fair grip at practice? What should I do? So, immediately the thing that pops out to me about this message is that, what are you talking about being passive and not being the type of guy who wants to speak up? Is this your goal? How much do you love arm wrestling? How bad do you want to get stronger at this, man? So it's if you're not willing to speak up and say something, then I don't know. How important is it to you? How important is getting stronger to you and making gains in arm wrestling and training in a proper style? You know what I mean? There's no secret ninja way. You don't kick the guy's kneecap and suddenly he gets a great grip. That's not how that works, right? So you have to speak up. If you don't want to speak up, then you can, I'll tap people's wrists. So as we're gripping up in practice, if they're carving, I'll just tap the side of the wrist to remind them, hey, you're carving. So they'll straighten up their wrist. I'll do stuff like that. If I want to not say words. But besides that, man, you got to speak up. That's the biggest thing, guys, at a lot of practices I go to, not just my practice, but practices all over that I've ever been to. Man, people don't talk. They don't communicate. You have to communicate at practice, especially if you're the weaker guy. I'm not saying you are Valerie Look. I'm not saying you're the weaker guy, but I'm saying the weaker guy always needs to talk and communicate about what he's trying to get out of this table time, right? You go on the table with the big, strong guy. If you don't say anything and you start, there's like a weird tense atmosphere, he's just gonna start crushing you. That's all that's gonna happen. So what you need to do is you have to speak up. If you don't speak up, then you're gonna get crushed. That's it. You have to, grab life by the balls, man. Be bold. You have to speak up. You want to make this your career. You want to pursue this journey of arm wrestling and be what you can be within this sport. Then speak up and grab what you want and within the sport. So, hey man, I want to work on my hook. Can you please hold me, keep me at about 80% and let me work my hook for a little while? You have to speak up. Tell the guy the things you want to do. You can't just expect people to know what you want to do and be nice to you and give you amazing grips. It's not going to work like that, right? Other people are going there. They want to work on themselves. Some guys go there just for pride. They want to crush people. And if you don't like that, then either don't get on the table with them, don't go to practice, or speak up. That's your options, basically, like that, right? I mean, you can talk to the coach or captain and maybe tell them, hey, can you tell everybody to start, getting better grips or something like that if you want. But you just got to speak up on the table. Doesn't mean you have to be a dick, but just, say something to the guy. Like, hey, man, I just want to work on this, get a real neutral grip and, let me work on this. You have to talk. You guys, communication is so non-existent in most arm wrestling practices, and so many people say things kind of like you're saying right here about how practice is always like guys trying to slam into each other and no one's really making gains. Okay, well, that's on you. That's on you to make the gains. You have to speak up and control your own career. Dude, how important is it to you to learn how to do a solid, fair start and to work on your hook? How important is it to you? Because no one else cares about if you can work on your hook or not. No one else can do that for you, right? So if you don't go to practice and get what you need out of practice, then that's it. Then you're not going to get it. And then you'll just be sitting there in the corner, complaining about how you never got a fair shake because people wouldn't give you fair grips. You have to take it, man. That goes for everybody. Sorry, I get passionate about that because I've heard that a lot, and it definitely is a problem, but it just boils down to, man, who wants it and who doesn't. You know what I mean? You have to communicate. If you're not even willing to say something to somebody, then, okay, how bad do you really want these goals, right? Okay, moving forward. Sorry, I get a little passionate. Posted by Red Grams. It says Devin versus Schoolboy Lefty. More arm wrestling between Devin and Alexander. Yeah, like I said, this one's off Devin's channel, so there's going to be a lot of videos of this, of Devin and them arm wrestling, and understandably so. I think Devin has a video, Alex Topperl has a video, even NBK was there filming, and then the countless other cell phones that were out there recording that as well. Moving forward, posted by Paracordist, Mullet vs. Mullet 3. Did the best mullet win in the arm wrestling rubber match? I don't know the names of the guys arm wrestling in this match. I think one's Corey Dupree, right? But the other one I don't know. So it's a super match, and it's a good match. It's a war. Everybody's watching, so yeah, it's a good match between two guys that have mullets. Two different arm wrestlers that have mullets. So, but like Todd said, they have extra power when you have a mullet. So you guys remember that Todd interview? He made a good point. Moving forward, posted by Julian K47. Preparation for tournament. Do you stop training completely for a couple days or continue with high reps / low weight? I was training all week and pulled very bad tonight. Feels like I had no back pressure or pronation. Oh, so this guy been training too hard, went to a tournament, and felt like he didn't have much. So what I would say is, for me, I responded to this. I actually wrote a lengthy response. But what I said was, for me, leading up to a competition, I had no table time for 2 weeks, no heavy gym for 1 whole week, and then like nothing at all, like not even like light band work, for like 3 days before the event. Because sometimes I've done it where I did no gym work at all for the whole week, but then when I go into an event, sometimes I'll feel like loose. My arms will feel like almost noodly, right? I haven't had any tension on them. So like a couple days before the event, I'll grab some bands and make sure I just get a little bit of blood flow. Nothing that would tear down anything at all, but I just like to use my muscles just a little bit before the event and kind of, I don't know, it almost feels like my body needs a reminder that I have the strength in my arm, and so I go into the tournament feeling just tighter and a little better. Right? I don't like going to tournament feeling super loose. But I go on in this message to tell him, like, that's how I do it. It's taken me 10 years to dial in what's best for me, but it's really all on an individual basis, man. Like, we're all totally different. it took me 10 years to kind of dial in my preparation for tournaments and how I like to feel the best on tournament day. Because I've done so many tournaments, I know this, right? So our table time, when we do pull on the table time, we could be entirely different. Right now, when I pull on the table, it's almost every 2 weeks, and usually I have someone with 2 hands working with me, and it's really controlled motions at a high percentage, just to dial in my movements and stuff like that. So a lot of, if you're new, then your table time might just be like crazy 9 hours of just getting pinned until your arm's about to snap in half and you're just trying to learn how to arm wrestle. So our table times might be different, but that's how long I like to take off for table time. Our gym sessions might be different too. You might be doing heavy bench and squats and deadlifts, and your CNS might get taxed really hard, right? So you need to give yourself time for your central nervous system to replenish and be back to 100%, right? Well, so our gym sessions might not be the same thing. So when I say I'm lifting heavy, we might be totally separate on that and the way we do it, right? So I take a week off from heavy lifting. You might need more or you might need less, right? And same thing, just all this type of stuff, it has to do with you as an individual, right? That's me at my age with my weight, and my diet, and my hydration levels, and how much I sleep. These are things that affect me getting prepared for a tournament. So that goes back to what I always say about tournament experience, you guys. We're all built differently. We're all on a different trek, right? We're not all the same people. So you have to dial in how you prep for a tournament the best, right? And feel it out. We can all give you our tips and our experiences, but you have to try it all yourself and figure out what works for you, especially when it comes to preparing for a tournament. All right, moving forward, posted by Rodental. It says Zombie Fest Live, and then it was I think a 25-minute video of on Devin's channel of the practice, because I think they practiced for 4 days in a row, right? And so this is just basically Devin sitting at a table arm wrestling all people that walk in, and just there's been a lot of content the last couple of days of Devin arm wrestling, because he arm wrestled 4 days in a row or 5 days in a row or something. So yeah, just a bunch more of the practice. Watching him pull, which I could watch Devin pull for a long time because I like to pick up little tidbits of information, but yeah. All right, moving forward, posted by Minhale. Is it a good idea for arms to always be sore? My arms are never 100% fresh. Between table practice and resistance training, I'm always walking around at about 60 to 70% at most. Is this a good idea generally? Should I allow for periods of break? What does your periodization, especially in preparation for tournaments, look like? Well, I don't think arm wrestlers are ever 100%. I don't know if we ever reach 100% anymore, to be honest. That's like a running joke at a lot of tournaments. But I think that right now, where I'm at in my career, I think that I heal all the way up. I go back to 100% pretty often. My muscles heal up to about 100% pretty often. So, okay, I'm going to break into a tangent right here, guys. I'm going to give you this is something I've been working on, a nice thought or idea I've been working on. I'm thinking I'm going to make a series of videos really, really explaining it. But I think that this is a solid idea, right? I was thinking about recently, I have a lot of new guys on my team, and a lot of people I'm trying to help them build their arm wrestling career as efficiently and safely as possible, right? So they can move there without having to make a lot of the mistakes that I made and that other people make. When it comes to always being sore, and like I said, where I'm at in my career right now, I heal all the way up 100%. But I also understand people in different spots of their careers not being 100%, right, and having little setbacks. That being said, I think there's 3 phases. I think there's 3 phases of an arm wrestling career. If I could program somebody's arm wrestling career, personally, these are my opinions. This is how I would lay out someone's career, guys. So phase 1 is from brand new guy to about, depending on the person, year and a half, somewhere in there. Now, during this phase, this is table time heavy. Table time is priority number 1. 2, 3 times a week if you can, right? Whatever your body can allow. You sit there and you grind. The point of phase 1 is to learn how to arm wrestle, is to turn your body in your arms into arm wrestling arms and learn the general arm wrestling 101. Right? Ins and outs of arm wrestling, get your tournament experience going, kind of realize what the sport's about, know how to counter, know how to deal with the arm wrestling pain. The arm wrestling pain never fully goes away, but you learn how to deal with it. It'll go away a good amount, but it never all the way goes away, guys. So you just learn how to deal with the pain more than anything, right? So all these things happen within the first year and a half. It's really just becoming an arm wrestler. You know the general counters, the general moves, and how to execute them and stuff like that, and how practice goes. And kind of by the end of the year and a half, you're kind of an arm wrestler at this point, as far as you should be, right? Have a good idea and grasp of the sport. Then there's phase 2, right? So phase 2 can go from a year and a half to, depending on the person and your situation and your weight class, in my opinion, can go from anywhere from 2 years, to 4 years or something like that, right? And I think that this phase, it depends on so much. It depends on you as a person, how hard you're training, how serious you are about the sport, the team you have around you, all these things. But your phase 2 is basically you fine-tuning your moves. At this point, you're going to be we're going to slow down the table time a little bit, down to maybe once a week. You'll be in the gym building your foundation and getting a good grasp of arm wrestling training concepts in a gym, so you feel comfortable moving and making some gains in the gym. But also, you're going to be fine-tuning all your moves. So you'll have your hook, your top roll, hopefully your press, and you have them kind of dialed in, right? And this whole phase is you working, just fine-tuning more than anything. It's just becoming the sharpest arm wrestler you can become. Now, this phase, I think it's overlooked, especially a lot of super heavyweights overlook this, because in the super heavyweight class, we are about just stacking horsepower more than anything, because you can spend a bunch of time trying to work on how to do a cool top roll, but eventually you're going to have to go pull that 450-pound dude that has one motion that is insanely powerful. So you better start lifting weights, right? So I think the guys that don't have to worry about weight at all jump really quickly to phase 3, which is all strength gains, which is limited table time, once every other week, and just gym, heavy lifting. And the table time every other week is just a refresher course because you have everything built in. But back to phase 2, I think that the lighter guys, phase 2 is more important. I think when you can't get super heavy and you can't worry about just bulking all the time, I think that sharpening your speed and your technique is very important. I think phase 2 lasts a lot longer for smaller, for guys that are, stuck in weight classes, right? That's more of an important thing to dial in and to make sure your phase 2 is hardcore. And then phase 3 is just polishing up and staying in the gym and staying strong and getting stronger, right? So after you're done with your phase 2, however long that is, then you move to phase 3, which is where, a lot of these guys are the top guys, where it's not about learning the table and stuff. You go there to make sure your muscles are all firing off together, your techniques are dialed in, they should be by now, and then it's just stacking on a ton of horsepower, right? But obviously, like, lighter guys need to worry about, instead of just raw strength, the connective tissue stuff is very important. Speed is very important, but it's hard to get really bulky without gaining a ton of weight, right? So those are things that need to be in consideration. Now, that's the simple layout of it. I could get more into it, and I plan to in some videos coming up. But if I could lay out someone's career, it'd be in those 3 phases. You know what I mean? So back to this post where this guy's asking if we should always be sore. Right now, gains in the gym are so important to me. I go from tore down to 100% healed up. That's my goal in each individual muscle group. That's how I'm approaching arm wrestling right now, and it seems to be working very well for me. Other people, though, if you're training and you're in phase 1 or something like that, and you're training all the time, being 100% is rare. So I think that's what I'm saying. It all depends on where you're at in your career, guys. Hopefully that helps, or you guys understood what I said. Moving forward. Posted by Luca9129. Levon Saganashvili preparing for top 8. It's Levon on the dip, doing dips with headphones on. The guy's just such a monster. I don't know. I mean, he's like close to like 400 pounds. And the dude does, like I said, like, I don't know, was it like 25 dips or 30 dips in there? Crazy. Dude's a beast for sure, a freak. I can't imagine some of the numbers he's putting up in the gym on the daily. The crazy part is, like, I really do plan on being the best in the world, so I really do have to beat him some point and try to beat Michael Todd at some point and all these guys I'm watching now. And but as time goes on, I feel myself watching them with more of a critical eye, trying to learn some stuff and look for holes one day. But, it's so much horsepower required now. I got to get up there. So, moving forward, posted by Zado de Imotu. Oh man, that's a long name. It says, sprained wrist. During my last practice about 2 days ago, I felt popping in my wrist when I tried to pronate really hard through my opponent. It hurt immediately, but after, in the same way a sprained ankle would. That part hurts is around the ball-like bone on the ulnar side of the forearm. Icing it when I got home helped reduce the pain, and right now it only hurts when I try to fully pronate or fully supinate. I know you guys probably aren't doctors, but I just want to know if any of you had a similar experience. If so, how did you deal with it, and how long did it take for it to heal? And when should I start using lightweight again? Thanks. I've hurt my wrists. Like I always said, disclaimer, I am not a doctor. Anything I give you is just experience from, just telling you about my experiences, what I had. Go see a doctor. Go see a doctor. Go see a doctor. For sure. That's definitely always the smartest thing. Now, from my untrained, non-doctorate having ass, when I hurt my wrist, man, I would... the wrist is so complicated. There's so many different tendons and ligaments in there, and so many different ways to hurt it, and it does so much throughout the day. When you grab anything, you open a door handle, you grab a drink, anything like that, you're using your wrist, right? So I would rehab it like twice a day with really light weight, and besides that, I would try to keep it non-moving. Really, honestly, I always use like a brace or something like that. That I would buy at like Big Five or Walmart or something like that. I would use a brace to, even if it's a soft brace, just to remind me not to use my wrist as much throughout the day. And then I would intentionally, very carefully take the brace off, do my rehab work slowly and in control, and then put the brace back on and keep the brace on as much as I could, just so I wouldn't re-aggravate the injury throughout the day, right? So I did my rehab work, and then I would just try to make it so I wouldn't keep re-aggravating the injury and give it a chance to heal. That's how I always handled my injuries, and I felt like I healed pretty, reasonably quick. I don't see a lot of those types of injuries if it's a normal injury. Longest I ever had one that really stuck with me is like 5 months or so. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect it to go too much longer than that. But at the same time, like I said, go see a doctor, man. That's just from my opinion and my experiences. All right, moving forward, posted by Seo Hyung Kim. It says, Dubai arm wrestler. I'm living in Dubai and looking for an arm wrestling club or just a few people to meet up with and arm wrestle every week. If anyone has any information, it would be appreciated if you can share. Many thanks. I don't, like I said, I haven't looked for international teams on armfighter.com. Someone told me there are some on there, I think. But if not, man, check out Facebook groups. And you should be able to find, hopefully, some Dubai arm wrestling on Facebook groups and message some people there. If you do not have any luck, send me a message, and I will start digging on Facebook for you, you as a person, and I will help you find some teams. Because I will always help arm wrestlers, people that want to arm wrestle, find arm wrestling. Okay. Moving forward, posted by Bram87. I can't pin in a top roll. I can start a match well and get my wrist on top, but I don't seem to have enough side pressure to finish. As soon as I go into a hook, I can go straight to the side and pin. Any explanation for this? I just arm wrestle for fun with friends, so no knowledge club to ask questions. So you just arm wrestle for fun. You're not arm wrestling on a table, so there could be a lot of variations in where your elbow's at and how your elbow's being placed. But it kind of sounds like you're over-rotating. So what always happens with more inexperienced people is that they over-rotate in someone's hand. Once you have cracked someone's wrist back, even slightly, their wrist is compromised, generally, right? And so to keep pronating and keep rotating the wrist after you've already compromised their wrist is foolish, because it puts you in a situation where you can't pin. And all they do is they let their wrist go and they just tighten up, bringing their forearm basically towards their face and just tighten everything else up with their wrist bent backwards, and then they're still very much in the match with the hand just bent back, right? So the trick is to take their wrist and keep them thinking that they're in it, just barely take the wrist, just enough where they're still fighting for it, and then so they keep the pressure, and then you're able to pin them, right? But you keep rotating, especially once you fully bend that wrist back, even they come to the point where they're like, okay, that wrist is gone. My wrist is dumped. So now I need to stop trying to hold on to my wrist and just start moving my arm, right? Which is a real danger to you, right? It's hard because when you think about it right now, I mean, staring at your hand, if you top roll somebody, so rotate, pronate your hand all the way over so the back of your hand is facing your face, right? How hard can you reverse curl, and how hard can you go sideways with your hand like this? Not very hard, I'm guessing, right? No one really trains like this. So keeping yourself in a nice neutral position, just enough where you take their hand and you're still in control, is important. Right? So stop over-rotating, stop top rolling after you get their hand. The moment their hand is even bent back a little bit, you got it. Keep pressure on the hand, but don't keep pronating. Don't over-rotate it, right? Don't keep taking it more. You've got it. Now keep it and pin the guy. So that's probably my best advice for you. But I would, if you have any video, man, share a video of you arm wrestling and give you a better, response. Next one, posted by Snickcat. It says, this range of motion okay for strength, 66-pound baggy. And it's a guy curling basically like some kind of bag with a martial arts belt. And he's going to about 90 degrees, and it's hitting the floor, then he curls it again, then it hits the floor, and he's pronating. So, as far as the range of motion, those are partials. Arm wrestlers do partials. Arm wrestlers do full range motion. Depends on what you're working for. But, it's definitely not bad. It's not bad at all. I would say don't let the bag touch the floor. Keep the pressure on your arm, so you stop the weight before it hits the ground a little bit. You don't need to go super high. You don't need to go all the way up. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Try to secure your elbow so it's not flying around everywhere. Because our elbows are, pretty secured on the arm wrestling table. Nothing bad with that. Nothing wrong with that, man. Anything is better than nothing. There's gonna be a lot of guys that are watching these YouTube videos and stuff and just sitting on their ass, just out of shape, not training, and criticizing little motions and stuff, and the fact that you're using a bag and whatnot. But dude, if you have weight and you're able to get some reps in there and just keep working on it, man, you'll be really strong in that angle for sure. Now, is there better ways to do things and more optimal ways if you're in a gym and stuff? Yeah, of course. But there's nothing wrong with what you were doing right there, right? So keep working hard, man. All right, next one posted by Red Grams, Devin versus Schoolboy final match. Okay, it's more Devin, Schoolboy arm wrestling at the practice. I'm not going to keep talking about that over and over again. Definitely good videos. Next one, moving forward, posted by Cypherman123. Live in Connecticut. I want to arm wrestle. Not much shows up on Google. Use armfighter.com, man. Check that out. You can definitely find some teams around there and go make some gains. Moving forward, posted by Julian K47. Educate me on my top roll. Then he posted a video of him arm wrestling somebody on an arm wrestling table. Now, Julian, you're the guy on the left. I'm going to tell you right now, your elbow is at the back of the pad the majority of this match, and your palm is facing up the majority of the match. It's a left-handed match. The guy that you're arm wrestling has horrible technique. He keeps pulsing. He keeps he has your wrist like he's sucking you into a hook, and then he lets up, and he keeps giving you chances to hit into his fingers. What I would say is drive your elbow forward. Arm wrestling is broken down into 3 steps. Establish your hand, get ready to pin, and pin. So the establishing your hand part, you're kind of looking past that. I can tell you're looking past establishing your hand because you're trying to pin before you've top rolled his hand. You're already going towards the pin line, right? So put more effort into taking his hand at the beginning of the match before you even start thinking about pinning or trying to move towards the pin pad, right? Take his hand first. Now, drive your elbow forward, and height is always a positive thing when taking someone's hand. So I would say drive your elbow forward a little bit, and then and focus on his fingertips and putting pressure into his fingertips rather than trying to bend his whole wrist back. Pressure on his fingertips will help you apply more pressure because he's weakest in his fingertips compared to in the palm of his hand where he's strongest within his hand, right? So, drive that elbow forward, find them fingertips, do that first before you try to pin. Put everything into taking his hand. Once you get that hand, the rest of it should be a lot easier, right? That's my best tip for you, man. But, post some more videos of you top rolling. I want to see how you progress. Posted by Ronan ED. It says WAL 2018-2019 championships. Let me start off by saying I don't know much about the arm wrestling scene, but I can't seem to find any info on WL website or Wikipedia or elsewhere about the 2018 and 19 championships. I know Larrett won the 17 heavyweight division, but who won the 18 and 19? There's no more championships. There's no more tournaments after that. It was it's all Supermatch series after that, man. So it's just hammer holders after that, right? So just look up hammer matches, right, like that, and that's who won the championships those years. So yeah. I don't have them all memorized. I forget who won them all. I think Michael Todd and stuff. All right, moving forward, post by NNQ2603. It's the NBK version of Zombie Classic with Juju Mufu. It's more practicing in Ohio. It's a 10-minute video from Joseph Drellick. It has everybody arm wrestling in there. It has Devin arm wrestling, Juji, kind of everybody pulling toms in there. So when you get a chance to watch that, do that. I think Todd Hutchings was in town. He lives in Ohio, I believe. And I saw videos of him arm wrestling at the practice. Was there any video of him and Devin pulling? No, I'm sure there wasn't, or else I would have already seen it. There's no way, because I keep seeing Todd Hutchings is there, and he was arm wrestling, so him and Devin didn't get on the table together. I would love to watch that, even though I'm sure Todd was more fresh and Devin arm wrestled like 5 days in a row. I'd love to watch that footage. All right, moving forward, posted by Babylonian Sorcerer. It says Derek versus Schoolboy, who would win, speculating on whether I would be able to beat Alexander. Dude, okay, first off, I would not take him lightly. He's definitely super capable of beating me, 100%. Definitely admit that. I am heavier than him. I think he's like 245 or so. I'm like 330. I would love to arm wrestle him. I'm super big fan of the kid based off, like, I like watching tall people arm wrestle, and he's very intelligent. He uses his height really well, which is something I look out for a lot. And great arm wrestler, nice kid. And I would love to pull with him. I don't know, guys. I'm not going to say with 100% certainty that I could beat him. I feel like I might be a little more comfortable into a deep hook than him. But, dude, that hand and those angles and his arm looks healthy. And mine is not as healthy as his. So I don't know. I don't even know if I can get a hold of him all the way or what, man. It's a toss-up. I don't know. I feel really good right now, though. So I would love to pull him. Hopefully we run across each other at some point. I'm sure we will. But yeah, I mean, much respect to Alexander and all that stuff. So it's just speculation at this point. I don't know, man. But I would be down to try. We'll see. I mean, yeah, he's a beast, though. He is the real deal, guys. I'm telling you. Alexander is definitely the real deal. So I'm excited to see where he goes in the sport. All right, posted by Tube Karcher. Made a video of our club training. Check it out. And then it's a video of I don't know where they're from. Post where you're from in the comments on there, man. But yeah, it's a cool video of your guys' practice. Yeah, looks like you guys have a good team. Just keep the communication up, man, and keep working with each other intelligently if you guys want to keep moving forward as a team with substantial gains, right? Just doing these wars all day makes it hard for people to get strong and really make the gains that they want to make. Almost there, guys. All right, moving forward, posted by Bob Wagner. Forget the King's move. Here's the new hotness, and it's a picture of Juji Mufu putting him and Devin are arm wrestling on an arm wrestling table with the straps, and Juji throws his leg up on top of Devin's head while Devin's arm wrestling against him, and is like basically like trying to kick him. I don't know. That'd be crazy, man. If someone tried that at a tournament, I wouldn't even know what to say. And the last post, posted by Combined Training, WL 601 main event title match, Devin Larratt versus Michael Todd. Coming up, right? WL 601, which is on April 21st in LA. Super excited. It's in, Southern California. I will be there. Hell or high water. I will be there. I'm also trying to get a preliminary match again if they'll give me one. But, yeah, so I'm excited about these matchups, you guys. WL 601, I know we're going to be talking about it nonstop for the next coming weeks, and so I'll not get too crazy on the predictions. But I am really excited to see Devin Larratt and Michael Todd. I've talked to Devin, and I've been watching Michael Todd, and I've talked to him. And Michael Todd's King's move is still evolving. His wrist is not as susceptible as it was, and that's a big thing, right? Is that you would top roll Michael and maybe get his wrist compromised, and then you'd be able to press him. But all he's been working on, not all he's been working on, but a lot of what he's been working on is his wrist. And so his ability to keep his rising pressure on his wrist high is way better. And it looks like his King's move is tightening up even more. His angles are tightening up. So I don't know. It's on WL pads, and he's just seeming more and more unbeatable as time goes on, in my opinion. So, but Devin. Then we have, on the other hand, we have Devin Larratt. I can't imagine someone who I kind of view as one of the smartest arm wrestlers in the world ever to lose to the same exact move over and over again. Right? I just can't see that. It's hard for me to envision that. You feel like Devin has a plan, and he does. I've talked to him about it before. And he mentioned he has a plan for Michael, and he thinks he can win. He thinks he has the key. So I'm really excited to see if Devin's going to be able to pull it off against who I think Michael Todd is number one in the world. I think Michael Todd will beat Levon Saginashvili. I don't think he has enough to go through Michael's arm. So this is going to be crazy. Also, Devin has a King's move. It's way more open than Michael Todd's, but he has one. So are we going to see some like kind of ugly King's move versus King's move thing going on? Or like how much offense is going to be in here, And also Michael Todd's last King's move against Jerry, it wasn't like a normal King's move either. He was kind of standing up. It was a different angle. It was weird. It was weird. So there's a lot of things that are unanswered in here. I'm hoping Devin knew he was going to get this match, so he's had, a year or however long to prepare for it and keep training these angles and work on this idea he has. And so I'm excited. I'm excited as anybody else is to see if he can pull it off. I will be there in the crowd screaming and cheering and drinking, having a great time. If you guys are anywhere near a WAL card that you can go to and watch, I highly suggest going, guys. It's like going to a UFC fight. I mean, personally, and I'm not endorsing anybody should, drink too much, but me and a lot of my friends and some of my teammates, we go down there, we, go down there, find our seats, have some drinks, have a nice time, scream for all the matches, and just cut loose. Have a nice night where we're not worried about arm wrestling, we're not dying from practice, and just scream for whoever we pick for the super matches. And it's actually a really good time. So the whole card has been announced, though. Was it Michael Todd, Devin Larratt, Ryan Bowen, and BLM, Brendan Lemon Mulvihill, Malin Kleinsmith, and Irina Gladika. Then there's Jamie Sheldon and Angry Bird Adam Wilmot. And then, RVJ and Eddie Hall as like a challenge match. I think those are the matches, right? Am I missing one? So excited to see that, man. Hopefully I get that preliminary match, guys. We should find out the next couple days. I know they're usually get local people when I'm local, but I had one last year and I lost. I made a mistake. I didn't know the rule set, and I made a mistake and I lost. Kudos to Tony. Definitely beat me for sure. But so this year, maybe they'll give me another chance. I don't know. If not, hopefully it's somebody I know and somebody I support. But all arm wrestling, I support in general. So thanks for listening, guys. That's the end of the podcast. That's all we got here on Reddit. One thing I want to touch on, I'm going to make some individual posts for it. You guys, I started a Discord. I know people used to comment all the time on Reddit about, hey, we should start a Discord for arm wrestling. And a lot of people, actually a couple people messaged me about me starting the Discord because since I run the Reddit, I might as well run the Discord. So I made one. I figured it out. I also have one guy on my team that is hardcore onto Reddit and knows Discord. I made him a moderator on there to help me run it. So there is a Discord. I'll start sharing the invites. For those of you guys that don't know what a Discord is, Discord's basically, it's like a chat room. It's like a live chat room about arm wrestling. So you download the app, and you go in there with the invite that we'll share everywhere. You go in there, you sign up for the Discord, and then it's just, if you're bored, you're at work or anything like that, there's live chat room where people talking about arm wrestling. So one like chat room within the Discord will be like, training videos, and the next one will be, practice videos or just different topics, and you go in there and you talk about it. There's also a chat room on there that uses your voice so you can like actually talk to people about arm wrestling and stuff. So it's really interesting, but I don't figure why not, another place for us arm wrestlers to gather. So I just made an arm wrestling Discord, just, pretty generic. I'll run it kind of the same way I run the Reddit, just keep it all non-biased and let everything flow there. Hopefully no one tries any bullshit. But yeah, so I'll start pushing that Discord thing a little more. It's fun. Let's go talk live, guys. I'm always available throughout the day, so I'd love to chat with you guys live as well as on the Reddit thing. So, all right, guys, thanks for listening so much. You guys go out there and be bold as shit. You guys push your destiny, achieve greatness within arm wrestling or within whatever you're striving for. Just keep pushing yourself, guys. Best of luck. Everybody stay safe. Talk to you later.